Hi, it's Alison Bushell, the Cake Doctor. Today I'm going to show you how to make leaves. We're actually going to make rose leaves, but the principles are the same for any leaf really. I'm going to be using Renshaw's again, which I'm going to colour green. And the other things that you'll need to use are a leaf cutter. This is a set of 3, which I think I bought in somewhere like Windsor Cake Craft for about £1.50. You can get them all over the place. The Cake Decorating Company do them. All sorts of different places do them, and they vary in price from about £1.50 up to £2 or £3. So I'm going to use the biggest one of those. The other thing I'm going to use is this veining mat. I actually don't know where I got it from. I've had it that long. I know you can get them from Squire's Kitchen. I'm sure you can get them from the Cake Decorating Company. You can certainly get them from Windsor's Cake Craft and Sugar City. All those places will actually do them. The other thing you'll need, that I'm actually going to use, is one of these, which is a clever little device. It is called a leaf veining rolling pin. They're about £6 or £7, depending upon which company you buy them from. Okay, but they're an absolute godsend. Right, I have coloured some Renshaw paste green using Colour Splash leaf green colour. It's the same one as I used yesterday, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this into a sausage. I'm going to flatten it down a little bit and widen it with my rolling pin, and as you can see, I've left it really thick. There's a reason for that. So using this rolling pin, I'm going to go for the middle one. I'm going to give it some welly now, so I'm actually going to press quite hard, because what I want to do is leave a nice thick groove up the center. You see, so this is quite thin, but this is quite thick, and there's a reason for that, because that's where we're going to put our wire. So I'm going to put this through, cut it, give it a wiggle, make sure it's cut through properly, which it has. I've got a 24 wire, about a quarter of a length of a 24 wire, and I'm going to put this into here. So I'm going to thread it up through that vein. Okay, see, it's gone straight through. Then I'm going to use my veining mat, and you should be able to see. The reason my veining mat is in 2 halves is because I've had this so long that one of my students at some point or other has broken it. But this side has got a groove in it, and that side has got a ridge in it. So we put the groove side down into the groove bit, and then we put the top on, give it a squidge. Okay, and there we have. So it's now veined, it's got the pattern on both sides. To make it look a little bit more realistic, you pinch the bottom and you bend the top. Okay, how lovely does that look? This now needs to dry. I have actually got some that I've made earlier, so I'm going to show you those in a moment. Right, so our next job is to actually dust these leaves so that they look more realistic, because the colour they are at the moment, they're a very flat colour, so we actually want to give them a bit of depth of colour and make them come alive, and we do that by using dusting powders. I've got Colour Splash leaf green, I've got Colour Splash black, and I have got, I think this is Sugar Flare rose, yeah, Sugar Flare. I use all sorts of different ones. It's whatever company has got the colour you want, really. The other thing I'm going to use are these makeup brushes. Now, these were probably £1 a piece from Primark. I was told by a very well-respected lady that unless you're spending £10 on a brush, it's not worth doing. I don't subscribe to that school of thought. I have got loads of brushes, and I've got different brushes for different colours, and if they break for £1 a piece, I don't mind buying a new one. If it was £10 and it became damaged, I think I'd be a little bit upset. So personally, I use the cheap makeup brushes from Primark, and there's nothing wrong. I've been doing it for 10 years and they're perfectly fine. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is give our leaf a little bit of a dust all over with leaf green. And we're working on kitchen towel because you need to get off the excess dust. You don't want the brush so laden up with colour that you can't actually work with it and it makes it too dark. So it's better to put it on in thin layers rather than try and dub it on in one go. So I'm just going to bring this over. So nice, soft, even strokes all the way over. And give the back just a quick dust. That's it, that's the back done. You think that I haven't done anything, but if I put this one next to it, you can see the difference that little bit of colour makes. Okay, so I'll do that one as well, and then we'll do it step by step and you can see the stages. Okay, so just give that one a quick go over as well. On the back. And then our next little job always strikes fear into my students when I tell them they've got to do this, because it just sounds bizarre. Our next job is to actually put a little bit of black on it. Black, you think, oh my goodness, it is going to ruin it, but I promise you it will just make it better. Okay, so only a little bit. I don't want too much on there. And all I'm going to do is, let's do that one. Give that a little stripe up the middle there, just at the very base. Okay, just a little bit of colour at the very bottom, just along that centre seam. Not too much, not too heavy. Okay, and then the last job that we're going to do is a little bit of pink. If I was doing yellow roses, I might try using a bit of yellow. If you look at a rose leaf, they always have a tiny little bit of colour on the edges, and this is what we're going to do. So a little bit of rose, and I'm just going to catch the edges like this. So just the edge. I'm not going on to the actual thing, on the actual leaf. I'm just catching those very, very little ridges at the end. Okay, so if I show you step by step, you can see the difference in those three leaves as you look at them. There's one last job we're going to do, which I'm actually going to do off camera, but I'll show you what I need to do. I'm actually going to varnish them with a spray varnish. The one I use is Spectrum Flow, although I understand that they no longer make this. I don't know why, because it's absolutely fantastic. There are other ones you can use. PME do one, I know, but this was always such a fantastic product. I genuinely don't know why they're not doing it anymore. You could, if you don't have the varnish at home, you could steam it, and that would set the colour. Or alternatively, you could dip it into a 50-50, so 50% varnish, 50% rejuvenating fluid, mix the two together and just dip it in that. I prefer the spray varnish because I don't lose any of the colour and it sets it instantly. So I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll show you how it's finished. So to show you the impact the colour has, okay, that's the one we started off with. That's just green. That's got green with a little bit of black. That's green with the black and the little pink tips, and that's when it's all varnished and over and finished with. Doesn't it make a difference having that little bit of colour? Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.